Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and subscribe my channel. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Ivy's return gives Liam hope. Are exes coming back together? Updates and spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Ivy Forrester will return while Liam Spencer starts over. Could this be the moment when these former lovers finally reconcile and get back together for a new beginning? The week of July 21, Ivy returns to the scene. During the week of July 21st to 15th, Ashley Brewer will make a return for some fresh B&B scenes as Ivy Forrester. Ivy would be most grateful if she could get in touch with Liam to inquire about his well-being now that he is on the road to recovery. After all, Liam and Ivy share a history, so there's still a connection between them. In fact, there was a period when Ivy was pursuing Liam actively, hoping to rekindle their romance. A second chance at life has been given to Liam now that he has survived a gunshot wound and allegedly undergone an experimental surgical procedure. All evidence suggests that Liam's brain tumor was a hoax, so it's doubtful that he ever had one. However, Liam truly believed he was on the verge of death. This realization may alter Liam's perspective now that he is aware that he will survive. It's possible that Liam will become more courageous in seizing opportunities and fully embracing life. He will put all of his attention into spending quality time with his daughters and making the memories he once feared he would never have. Knowing he will still be there to nurture Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer will bring Liam immense relief. Despite the fact that there is no reason for Liam to remain single indefinitely, he may want to include some love in his life. Perhaps his struggle for survival will lead to a reunion that has been anticipated for a long time. Hope Logan is content with Carter Walton, at least for the time being, while Steffy Forrester is content with John Finnegan at the moment. Could he focus on Ivy and embrace a new beginning with her now that his other former partners are not available? It would undoubtedly be a refreshing change and may even elicit jealousy, especially from Hope, who may have developed a new appreciation for Liam. We'll keep you updated on Hope's tangled emotions and any complicated developments that may occur because there's a possibility that a part of her still longs to be with Liam. Check in on everything that's going on with B&B right now to stay current. Spoilers, news, and updates for The Bold and the Beautiful can be found here frequently. The Brave and the Beautiful. Ivy's return gives Liam new hope. Are exes coming back together? Ivy Forrester's chest was not lightened by the Forrester jet's soft sigh of tires on asphalt as it touched down. The familiar Los Angeles skyline, layered with memories and ghosts that she thought she had buried years ago, came into view as she looked out the small window. This was more than just a business return. It was intimate. This time, she was not going to ignore the knock of destiny at her door. Ivy had built a successful life back in Australia by designing, modeling, and escaping the never-ending drama that had once engulfed her. However, in quiet moments, there had always been one lingering what if. Liam Spencer. Despite the distance between them, the man who had broken her heart and then fled did not abandon her. She had heard the whispers, through international press, vague social media chatter, and finally, a phone call from Eric himself. Liam had nearly died. A wound from a shot. An end-of-life diagnosis after that, a trial surgery. A roller coaster of emotions and uncertainty. He was, however, improving. Living. Breathing. Still present. Meanwhile, Liam stood outside the Malibu beach house, the ocean breeze tugging at his shirt sleeves as he watched Beth chase a kite down the sand. His mind was elsewhere as the waves were illuminated by the sun. For weeks, he'd been living under the shadow of a lie, a cruel, medically manipulated illusion that convinced him he was dying. He was left with more questions than answers after the diagnosis gave way to the weight of the truth. He had made peace with the idea of dying. In his heart, he had said his goodbyes, told Hope about old feelings, asked Steffy for forgiveness, and tried to live with grace in the time he thought he had left. However, he had time once more now. The future. The terrifying question that followed was, what should he do with it? Hope had returned to him briefly during the darkest moments, but now she was distant again. Liam had respect for the fact that her relationship with Carter had grown stronger. Even Steffy, who was once his constant anchor, found happiness in her marriage to Finn. For the first time in his adult life, Liam Spencer was untethered. The get-together was quiet. There were no fights or flashpoints. Just Ivy, standing on the steps of the Spencer building, her emerald eyes holding 1,000 unsaid things. As soon as Liam got out of the elevator, he saw her, and at first he thought he was dreaming. Ivy, however, softly smiled, poised, and more radiant than ever. Her voice slammed into him like a fading memory. The warmth, her accent, and the way she said his name as if she were covering it in silk. He walked slowly through the lobby, not knowing what to say. She said with a smile, "I heard what happened. I had to verify for myself that you are okay," she said. He smiled lightly, embarrassed. "It appears that I am not dying. Just dramatically misdiagnosed." She teased, but her smile was sad. "That's very you," she said. "Always caught in the middle of some storm." He said, moving closer, "Well, maybe I can stay out of one this time. Or start something better." Hope Logan was sitting in her office at Forrester Creations across the city, staring at a sketch she wasn't really seeing. Her soul was agitated. Carter had been nothing but patient, kind, steady. However, when she closed her eyes, she could still occasionally hear Liam's shaky and vulnerable voice telling her that he thought he would die. She had been prepared to give up. To move on. But when she thought she was done losing Liam, something in her had come back to life. She had silenced a portion of her that remained in a deep, inexplicable love for him. He was now alive. He was gaining strength. Additionally, she was uncertain of everything. When she heard Ivy was back in town, it knocked the breath from her chest. The reappearance of that name surprised her. Steffi told her that morning over coffee she came back for Liam. "You know that, don't you?" Steffi had nodded, but it was hard to see her face. "Just don't wait too long to figure it out. Because if Ivy shows up to pick up the pieces and Liam allows it, that may be the end of your options." Carter was aware of the change. Hope got sidetracked. She smiled less brightly. The intimacy they had been building was fraying at the edges. He didn't entirely blame her. All of them had experienced repressed emotions following Liam's near-death experience. But Carter also knew what it meant to be second choice. He had lived it too many times. With Quinn. With Katie. And now, possibly, with Hope. At Il Giardino that evening, he sat across from Daphne Rose, drinking wine, and listening to her discuss her most recent PR strategy. She was educated. Witty. Magnetic. And for the first time, Carter allowed himself to wonder, what if Hope wasn't his future? What if this was the beginning of something new? Ivy and Liam walked barefoot in the sand back on the beach, the moonlight creating silver lines across the ocean. They talked for hours, about everything and nothing. About the lessons they'd gained, the things they'd lost, and what it means to be given another chance. Ivy said softly, "I still remember the day we met. You were running late. From the sprinklers, wet. So American." "I thought you were sweet," she corrected. "And for a brief period of time, we worked well together." She stopped walking. "Do you mean that?" He gave her a sincere look before nodding. "I believe I do." This deep dive is written as a dramatic paragraph of 20,000 words, condensed here for space reasons, but easily expandable into multiple parts, and it examines emotional stakes, complicated pasts, and bombshells for the future. Let's get started. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Ivy's return gives Liam hope. Are exes coming back together? The return of old flames that start new firestorms in the lives of the Forresters, Spencers, and Logans is nothing new in The Bold and the Beautiful. This time, the flames are being stoked by none other than Ivy Forrester. Ivy, played by Ashley Brewer, is set to return to the glamorous, betrayal-ridden world of Los Angeles after years of absence. The timing couldn't have been better because Liam Spencer was on the verge of a new beginning as he recovered from a near-fatal incident and untangled a web of emotional chaos. Ivy's return is more than just a cameo, it's a calculated emotional twist that has the potential to shake up every relationship that is still holding on. She and Liam have years of unfinished business, and their reappearance could be the moment they either reclaim what they lost or destroy their previous world. Liam has undergone a transformation since the trauma of being led to believe he was dying from an inoperable brain tumor, a lie that kept viewers on the edge of their seats for weeks. Liam's encounter with death has altered him, whether through an elaborate hoax, a false diagnosis, or the cruel manipulation of someone who wanted him out of the way. He no longer sees life through the lens of what could have been, he no longer clings to routine or predictability. Steffi and Hope are both startled by his fierce embrace of each day. Liam as a passive, resentful individual has vanished. A man who is prepared to act on desire, pursue new goals, and, most dangerously, revisit past relationships stands in his place. Meet Ivy. Passion, misunderstanding, and bad timing marred their love story. Even when Liam's world spiraled out of control, she was the one person who held on to her faith. Ivy never truly let go of what they shared, even though their time together was marred by betrayals, secrets, and familial entanglements. The opportunity to reconnect is real now that Liam's emotional slate has been cleared. Spoilers for the week of July 21 tease that Ivy will cross paths with Liam again, and when she does, the chemistry that once simmered between them may boil over. Steffi is still committed to Finn, Hope is moving toward Carter, and Ivy's sudden reappearance may provide Liam with clarity in addition to comfort. However, since this is the bold and the beautiful, nothing is ever straightforward. Even though Hope Logan is in a relationship with Carter Walton that is developing slowly, she still has unresolved feelings for Liam. She wept in his arms when she thought he was dying. She envisioned rebuilding the family unit they once shared with Beth. But the second Liam survived, and the tension of grief evaporated, reality set in. Carter, reliable and strong, was standing by her side. She had made a vow to herself that she would move on. However, Ivy's return slashes that resolution like a knife. Hope may try to play it cool, but as Ivy and Liam share moments, quiet dinners, nostalgic laughter, and perhaps a kiss or two, the simmering jealousy in Hope's heart will begin to bubble. It is one thing to mourn a deceased partner. It's something else entirely to witness him potentially falling in love with someone else right in front of you. Ivy isn't here to play second fiddle, so even if Hope does realize that she still wants Liam, she might not have time to act. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, on the other hand, will be torn as she watches everything from the sidelines. Her marriage to Finn is stable at the moment, but she is very loyal to Liam. She and Liam, after all, have a daughter named Kelly and an unbreakable emotional bond. In the wake of Liam's health crisis, Steffi has gone out of her way to support Hope, even bridging the gap between the two women who have always fought for Liam's heart. However, Ivy's return poses a threat of reversing that dynamic. Steffi may be compelled to step in, not out of love for Liam but rather to safeguard the peace she has worked so hard to establish, in the event that Hope becomes in danger or if Ivy rekindles old drama. And then there's Carter Walton. Hope Logan has quickly won Carter's heart. He has previously been the rebound player, and it nearly cost him his life. He thought it was different this time. Hope was opening her heart, slowly but surely. But now he's noticing the way she looks out the window when Liam's name is mentioned, the shadows in her eyes, and the hesitation in her voice. Carter may withdraw first to protect himself from further heartbreak if he realizes that he is losing hope to Liam or, worse, to Ivy. And waiting in the wings is Daphne Rose, his confidant turned love interest, who has already declared that she sees a future with Carter. Could Carter break free of the Hope-Liam-Ivy triangle and make peace with Daphne in the end? Expect a rapid upswing in tension. The reunion between Ivy and Liam might begin innocently, with a drink at Il Giardino or a stroll along the beach as they recall their brief but intense relationship. However, this is B&B. In a matter of seconds, a shared moment can escalate into a passionate kiss. In addition, Ivy will not waste time playing nice if she decides that she wants Liam back. She has returned for a reason, and that reason might just be reclaiming the man she never stopped loving. Ivy was never one to let anyone walk all over her, as longtime fans will remember. She has previously fought for love, and she will fight again. However, the stakes are higher this time. Liam has weaknesses. Hope fluctuates. Carter is dangerously close to heartbreak. And Steffi? She might be drawn into the crossfire whether she likes it or not. Ivy's return may bring about a full-scale romantic conflict, according to spoilers. Hope may spiral emotionally, unsure if she wants Carter, Liam, or just freedom from confusion. Carter could back off and fall into Daphne's arms. Ivy and Liam might finally get to experience the love they've always wanted. And if Steffi senses that Hope is trying to sabotage Liam and Ivy out of jealousy, she might step in, to protect her daughter's father, or to warn Ivy of Hope's instability. Ivy Forrester is coming back, that much is certain. Liam Spencer is healing and wide open to possibility. Additionally, Hope Logan is at a crossroads in her emotions. Old love stories will be rewritten, alliances will change, and at least one heart will be broken as B&B heads toward fall 2025. In a stunning twist worthy of a soap opera's highest highs, The Bold and the Beautiful now finds itself neck-deep in one of the most controversial storylines of the year, the possibility that Liam Spencer's life-threatening brain tumor was never real at all. It's the kind of revelation that has sent shockwaves through Los Angeles, rattling the Logan, Spencer, and Forrester clans to their emotional core. Liam's fear gripped him for weeks as he faced what he believed to be his final days. There were shed tears. There were confessions made. Forgiveness was granted. Relationships as a whole changed. And now? There's a creeping, insidious whisper making its way around town. What if Liam's tumor never existed? What would happen if the diagnosis that changed everything was a cruel error or, even worse, a deliberate manipulation? Something wasn't quite right from the start. The diagnosis arrived quickly. The signs weren't clear. The prognosis was dire, too dire. Viewers watched as Liam, a man known for spiraling into indecision and guilt, was suddenly clear-headed in his final days. He assured Hope that he still adored her. He asked Steffi for peace. As if each second were his last, he wrapped his arms around Kelly and Beth. However, as more information becomes available, doubts are beginning to surface. Did the doctors make a mistake? Did the scans contain an error? Was the inoperable tumor just a shadow, a lesion that was wrongly diagnosed, or, God forbid, a fabrication by someone with a plan? In the B&B universe, medical fraud is not the first time it has surfaced. Who can forget Thomas's self-immolation? Or when Beth was taken and disguised as a different child entirely? It would not be unthinkable for someone to manipulate a medical record, especially if it served their purpose, in a world where identity switches and DNA tests are commonplace. Carter Walton is the obvious first choice. Liam's presence always made his burgeoning relationship with Hope more complicated. Hope's heart could never fully be Carter's as long as Liam was alive and lingering in the background. But if Liam were out of the picture? Carter may finally have a shot. And while Carter isn't a villain, at least not yet, he's certainly desperate. Desperate for a wife. Desperate for a family. Moreover, she is desperate to believe that Hope can love him as much as she loves Liam. Daphne Rose is the next one. Quiet. Observant. Cunning. She's new to this world, but she's not naive. While Daphne has expressed an interest in Carter, she also keeps an eye on Hope, observing her tone of curiosity and carefully chosen words. Could Daphne have orchestrated something behind the scenes to destabilize Hope and push her toward Carter? Although it is a stretch, a well-placed lab technician or an altered report are not out of the question in this community. What about Thomas, as well? Steffi? Could the Forresters have something to gain by keeping Liam in a weakened, emotionally vulnerable state? If Liam thought he was dying, he would distance himself from Steffi and Hope. He'd retreat from the battlefield entirely. The Forrester siblings have never been above scheming for love, power, or peace. Liam suffered from the stress of being a good father, a loyal partner, and a mediator between two women who were at odds. He's been manipulated before. He has lost Steffi, Beth, and his own sense of worth. A weak man under the care of a dishonest doctor might easily believe he was dying. In the end, who would question a brain scan? When death seems imminent, who seeks a second opinion? Liam didn't. And that is precisely what someone might have anticipated. The truth is beginning to emerge gradually now. The most recent results of Liam's tests indicate that he has stabilized. But not only that, they show no evidence of the tumor ever having existed. No mass. No damage. There is no more swelling. Doctors are baffled. Specialists are being flown in. But the question isn't just how he survived, it's what exactly he survived from. Hope Logan is still reeling from the emotional roller coaster and starting to ask tough questions. She sat by Liam's bedside. She mourned his future. She made choices that may have brought Carter closer to her and thrown her own emotions out of whack. What implications does this have for the choices she made under the illusion of Liam's diagnosis? And even more terrifyingly, who desired that she create them? Steffi, too, is beginning to raise an eyebrow. Hope was informed of Liam's condition by her. She was the one who rebonded with Hope over shared grief. She was the one who helped their family come to this strange agreement. But what if all that healing was built on a lie? Steffi is a strong woman, but she fights when her family, including her brother and ex, are threatened. And if this tumor hoax becomes public, Steffi may go to war. As for Liam? He's not angry, not yet. He's confused. The man who looked death in the eye now feels like a fool. Every emotional confession, every goodbye he whispered to his daughters, every piece of his legacy he tried to prepare, it was all based on a fabrication. That trauma does not simply vanish. It lingers. It twists. Even the most well-intentioned man can become reckless as a result. It's possible that Liam will set out to find the truth and uncover a dark betrayal that could alter everything. What's coming is more than just a medical mystery. It's a moral unraveling. The entire balance of the bold and the beautiful is about to be thrown off if Liam was made to believe he was dying, whether for love, control, or power. Families will fracture. Alliances will fall apart. And the Liam-Hope-Steffi triangle, already fragile, may be blown apart for good. And Ivy? The woman who just appeared on the scene? She may find herself stepping into a war zone rather than a reunion. Because if Liam learns he was deceived, he'll no longer be a man trying to survive, he'll be a man seeking justice. And when that happens, the fallout will be explosive.